Hey girls, it's your dad again. Just doing another 10-minute video. With this video, I wanted to kind of go over uh, how the last decade has been for me, the last 10 years. So, whatever's been off with me started around 2011. It could have been going before that, but I was never really having symptoms of it to that extent. In 2011, uh, I had what some thought was a panic attack on the ferry to Seattle. Basically, I kind of got dizzy and lost my balance and kind of felt extra weird and wobbly. Yeah, it was on a boat, uh, but my equilibrium wasn't registering things properly, and it started scaring me and causing me some anxieties. And then medical staff on the ferry thought that I might have been having a heart attack, and I got rushed off the ferry to Bayview uh, General Hospital or something in Seattle. So that was stressful, and that was the first time I started having the fatigue symptoms: headaches, dizziness, fatigue, weakness, brain fog. That's the first time I can remember these symptoms starting. Now, this was happening a little bit before I went on my first deployment when I was in the Navy. And when I complained about these symptoms, the only thing that I got from everybody else was, come here. Hey, it's okay. Why are you sad?
You don't have to make me sad.
We made you sad?
Yeah.
Why? We tucked you in and gave you a hug, and we said you had to get back to bed. Honey, you don't need to be naked in bed, okay? You're already in your shirt and underwear, all right? See, the thing is, did you take a bath today?
No.
So if you're going to be naked in your bed, you're going to get your sheets and you're going to get your mattress dirty. It's better to change your underwear and your shirt every day, and then we can wash that stuff, and then we can wash your bed sheets once a month. You know, you don't want to be naked in the bed because you don't want to get the bed dirty all the time. But you want to shower regularly. I love you.
You.
I love you.
Love you.
Okay, but you need to go to bed. All right?
Okay.
All right, go to bed. Love you, honey.
Love you.
Okay, so 2011, before the deployment, this stuff happened. When I complained about it, all I got from the military was, "You're just stressed out. Is this too much for you? Can you not do this? Do you want to leave?" And it was, no, I like my job, even though I hadn't even gone on my first deployment. 4 deployments later, I loved the job. The job was easy. I was a submarine missile technician, and sounds technical, but I loved it. It was a challenge, and I love taking stuff apart. I love learning how things work. I loved my job. I didn't have an issue with it. But in order for me to stay in the military, I had to pretend it wasn't happening. I had to ignore it, pretend it didn't exist, and just deal with this new altered state of perception, this new constant brain fog and fatigue that was forcing me to be a 50% of who I was, which was very frustrating. While I was in the military, I had a lot of issues with anger and frustration because, just like any other job, you work with a lot of morons. You work with a lot of people who are authoritarian and are very hard set in their ways. And I started working out a lot to help lower my energy level, so I didn't have the energy to be confrontational with a bunch of these guys. I got a cat here. But for me, exercise was my anger management back then. But things got worse. Things got more difficult. And it was about 2014 and 2015 when I finally had a near blackout in front of people and got sent to get looked at. And medically, they ran me through the ringer, seeing everybody: neurology, endocrinology, cardiology. They thought I had a seizure disorder. They thought I had brain damage. They thought I had a autoimmune disease. They went through all these different tests to find out what was wrong with me. And the military medical system is desperately in need of reform because they don't care about chronic or big, health concerns. They care about what can we do to fix you immediately and make you deployable. Otherwise, you're of no use. That's the bare fact. It sucks. They don't care about you. The brotherhood, the camaraderie, all the talk about how much of a family, how close knit the unit was, all that stuff. It didn't mean a damn thing when somebody actually suffered, because the only thing they cared about was, are you useful to the mission? And nothing else mattered. It really made me hate and despise everything, because after blacking out on top of a submarine and getting sent to medical, and then telling me I have a seizure disorder, and then saying, you gotta get off the boat, I was pulled from the boat, and I was asked 2 weeks later where I've been all this time. Okay, those orders came down from medical. I reported all this stuff to everybody. I had been reporting to a different unit, and they come back to me telling me that I've been missing for 2 weeks. Like, I've been reporting in with the people I've been sent to. And I said, where's Doc? Doc knows all this. And he said, well, Doc's in San Diego at a school right now. You don't have to worry about him. All right, we're not talking to Doc. We're talking to you. And I'm like, you're going to send me to a disciplinary review board the day I'm transferring to limited duty, the day I'm getting pulled from this command because of multiple, medical diagnoses. Oh, it was a big middle finger in my face for the 4 years I busted my ass beforehand. But regardless, that was a really bad time in my life, because I was trying to figure out what the heck was happening in my body and what was happening and why things were getting worse. And, as things get worse, it's how worse are they going to get? When is this going to stop? Am I going to keep getting worse? Oh, great. But I learned to live with it again. As my baseline got worse and worse, I learned to just deal with it. Oh my gosh. So 2016, I was medically retired from the military, and I still tried to pursue stuff to find out what was wrong with me. A year later, I see a doctor at Madigan Army Medical Center who says, hey, why haven't you been on sleep therapy? And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, well, you had a sleep study 2 years ago that said you have bad sleep apnea. And I said, oh, that's news to me. I remember the sleep study, but my doctor told me, good news. No news is good news. Didn't even bother to look up what the actual results were to be. Didn't bother to have a follow-up with it, Just told me that you're good to go, you're fine. Never got reported that I actually had issues, which, fast forward to now, I'm pretty sure the sleep apnea is more of a symptom of whatever's happening. But I'm currently being seen for multiple things. I have an appointment tomorrow. I've got intense level fatigue and dizziness that feels like something is wrong with my heart or my brain. It's been a decade now that I've been suffering with this chronic issue, unexplained. I've had good years. 2019, I was in LA going to school, and I had these 2 months where I couldn't breathe, I couldn't think, and I had to leave LA and come back. And to be fair, I wasn't on my sleep treatment during that time, so it could have been getting worse. My testosterone was bottoming out, my hematocrit was going up, I was just at my worst. I came back home to Washington with my family, spent some time with you guys. I was able to get a little better. I wouldn't say get better, but I got back on my sleep therapy and felt a little better, and did a lot of work and busted my ass up until now. 4 or 5 years later, it's 2024, and these symptoms are all coming back harder. Pounding headaches daily, waking up unable to breathe, feeling tired and dizzy and weak, unable to think, feeling like I'm always about to pass out. It's not fun, but regardless, I don't stop trying. I won't stop trying, and I won't give up hope, because I got a lot to lose, and I've got a lot to love here. I've got too much to do and too much to be grateful for. But I love my girls, and they keep me going. You guys have a nice night.